Welcome to the special Long Island edition of Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway. I'm Jamie, this is my hideaway, and heck, I'm from Long Island. Back in my youth, when I was growing up in the 60s, 70s, I kind of was little in the 60s, but in the 70s, bar bands were really a big thing on Long Island and around the country, but Long Island had some really premier bar bands. And one of our key bands were the Good Rats, or as they were really known as just plain old Good Rats. Anyway, I used to go to bars when I was a kid, back in I was like 16, 17 years old, and back then the drinking age was only like 18. So even without fake proof, you can get into some places. And one place we went to was Yuby's OTJs. I lived up here in Bayshore, right here in Long Island. And a little bit west of that was West Islip. And on the corner of Sunrise Highway and Udall Road was Yuby's OTJs. And a lot of the bands played there, and that's where the Good Rats would play a lot. And that was the first time I saw them. It was kind of like our own little band. They were the Long Island band. There were other Long Island bar bands, some that would make it bigger than the Good Rats ever did, like Twisted Sister and Zebra. But Good Rats, they were, Long Island was their home. And anyway, they came out with an album in '74 called Tasty, of which I'm playing a little bit of Injun Joe. And the song Injun Joe might seem politically incorrect today, but here we go. I like to think it's about an Native American going down to the city to form a union. He's going to the city to organize. All right, well, anyway, something's up. And this next song, title track Tasty, you might have heard this song on WBAB. They probably still play it on WBAB on Long Island. But this was kind of like their little jazzy hit, Tasty. Talk about the early members of the band, because back in 1969 they put out an album, which I don't have on vinyl, called The Good Rats on Cat Records, and long out of print, hard to find. I just read that it's a pretty good album, but to a lot of us, Tasty was the first album. So, anyway, we learned better later on.
We had a man named Crazy Art. He overplayed his bass a lot. We had to kick him in the pants. His fingers moved like fighters dance. Couldn't play Tasty, oh no. Tasty like this man, yeah. Tasty, tasty, anytime we mellow out.
Now the Good Rats consisted of Pepe Marcello, lead singer, and Bat. He played the Bat. He wrote all the songs. His brother Mickey Marcello on rhythm guitar. And John the Cat Gatto, if I'm saying that right, Gatto. He was the lead guitar player. Lenny Kotke was the bass player. And of course, let's see, Joe Franco on drums. Joe Franco. And that was the band consistent through the early 70s into the late 70s on all of these albums that I'm going to be playing something from.
Like this now.
play the hits. But here's something that might have got some airplay, or definitely got some airplay back on Long Island.
You was a dishwasher in old Jackson City. Then he was a cook in Santa Fe. Then he ran the numbers for his friend in the battle. And I'm getting better every day. Might as well get back to my music, to my music. Might as well get back, Tennessee. Played the big streets for a while, yeah, in New York. Frank will find a place for you to stay. Then he ran a top and joined the city of the angels. And I'm getting better every day. Might as well get back
Right? You remember it? Remember?
I do.
to my music. Might as well.
Anyway, gotta stop saying that. They came out with an album later on. Tasty was on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers dropped it, it didn't sell big. So Warner Brothers dropped the Good Rats after one album. They released this one on Rat City Records later on. I guess they got the rights to their music, which was great. And they released it on an independent called Rat City Records, which was, I guess, a subsidy just for them from Platinum Records, an independent. And anyway, they came out with a second album on Rat City Records called Rat City in Blue. Now that Rat City Records is a little different than the one that I just took off. This is 1976, a little thicker than the other one. And I want to play the first song. By the way, when I said Pepe Marcello played the bat, he'd always have a bat on stage, and he did like little air guitar on the bat, and that was like his thing. He always did it. So I think I'll do a little air guitar here. What do you think? Here we go. That last song, by the way, was back to my music. This is Does It Make You Feel Good? Also got some airplay on Long Island and in the tri-state area. More cowbell. There you go. Back in 1976, Long Island was alive with the bicentennial celebrations. My friend had an old car. He poked a hole through the roof, put an American flag on it, and drove around the neighborhood until the car died. Anyway, on the inside here, we got a little picture of a pizza. It looks like there's pepperoni on this pizza. Not pepperoni, anchovies. So these guys must have spelled their name Danger. Just a great bunch of musicians they were. Really good live. They were known for their live acts. But besides some jazzy instrumentals and all-out rock and roll numbers, they played some ballads. And I want to play you a little ballad here called Advertisement in the Voice. It's back in the days before online dating. People would go to the personals in newspapers.
Oh yeah.
And there was a paper called The Village Voice, and apparently there would be some advertisements in the Village Voice, you know, people looking for a romantic
Looking for
connection.
love. Looking
So
for love.
that's what this song is about. But before we get to this song, it looks like we have a Stump the Jamie
Number
coming
one.
its way.
Number one.
Stump the Jamie number one. Here we go. Here we go. There's a little. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can send this back.
All right.
All right, Stump the Jamie number one.
Stressful.
What was the original name of the Good Rats? Well, I don't know. What was the original name of the Good Rat? Don't know. That must have been a long time ago. Does anyone out there know? I'm sure somebody knows the original name of the Good Rats. If you do know,
I know.
please make a little comment on my YouTube page,
I know.
and I will share it with the rest of the world. My lovely assistant has looked up these things, so she does know. But
That's not why she
I'm
knows.
not going to tell you. That's not fun.
She knew anyway.
And I don't really know. She might not know.
No, she knew anyway.
Making that stuff up. I don't know what she's thinking.
She's from Long Island. She knew.
Oh, she's from Long Island. She knew. That's right. They did make some headway in other locations, even overseas and France and whatnot. Here you go. Advertisement in the Voice.
Follows their rules. But at 3 o'clock I start to get the blues. I read your advertisement in the voice, seeking some companionship to pass the lonely days. You made no stipulations and only signed it friend. No, it's 3 o'clock and I'm alone again. I love to listen to the melodies of Bach and Beethoven, and I think always a guess.
This is where you pour your heart out, tell all your things you like to attract your lover.
And help bring down the big machine, and I prayed that it would last. But at 3 o'clock I start to get the blues. I read your advertisement in the voice, seeking some companionship to pass the lonely days. You made no stipulations and only signed it when. Oh, it's 3 o'clock and I'm alone again. I have a 9-room.
So they put out another album a couple of years later in 1978 on Passport Records, produced by Flo and Eddie. You might know Flo and Eddie of the Turtles and the Mothers of Invention for a bit. And this album, Rats to Riches, it's kind of like they're back to a major label. Well, that was not terribly major, Passport, but the music changed a little bit at this point. You know, it's 1978. It's a dark time in rock and roll history. You know, so everybody's trying to be a little more pop, a little more commercially appealing. And apparently they had some interest out in Detroit. You know, Detroit, they was kind of supported the New Yorkers and vice versa. You know, a lot of the Detroit bands did well in New York. And this song was a Got some airplay as well. I don't know if it did in Detroit or not. I hope so, but it's called Taking It to Detroit.
There's a thing that every man should be doing. It's a basic law of rocking and rolling. Yeah, what I'm telling you. In a land that had been known for its raw meals, now it's kiss and see Yahoo its big wheels. I wanna be one too. We're taking you to Detroit, coming in from New York. We're breaking it in Detroit. This is what I'll do to make myself famous. Make this midnight.
My friend Jay loved this band, and he always got the albums when they came out. A couple of years after this album, there was another album on Passport called Birth Comes to Us All, which I don't have. But anyway, that's all I have for you tonight. Good Rats are still around. Oh look, they looks like Stump the Jamie number 2. What do we got here? Ah. Oh, this is interesting. I was going to mention this. What is the name of the summer outdoor festival the Rats have every year? And I'm not sure they still do this. I was kind of trying to look it up, see if it was something, if I could find anything about it. I found some place in Pennsylvania called Ratstock. Ratstock is a concert that the Good Rats do in Long Island.
That's it.
And but I couldn't find out any information if they're like still doing it or not. But for a while, Gene Marcello, Pepe's son, joined the band, and then Stefan Marcello joined the band, and the band went on as the Good Rats with Pepe and his sons. Unfortunately, Pepe died in 2013. But Stefan carries on playing the Good Rats till this day. So if you would, if you're still in the tri-state area, I would suggest that you go see the Good Rats because they're still playing, and I'm sure they're very entertaining. It's like a family tradition with those guys. So, Stump the Jamie number 3. What 2011 movie did Pepe Marcello make a cameo appearance in? You know, I thought I read that. I can't remember what it was. What did he make a cameo appearance? I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't know if this song is any good either, but I'm going to put a little bit on there. I bought this album. If you know the answer to that question, I really don't know the answer to that question. If you know the answer, you know, make a comment on my YouTube page, please, and I'll mention you. Turns out that last week we had a couple questions that stumped the Jamie. One of them was, what was the name of the Who before they were the Who? And my friend Brian answered the question. The answer to the question was the Detours. Right?
Yes, correct.
Right, the Detours. I got that. Anyway, Brian found the answer to that question, and he very nicely made a comment, shared it with my YouTube audience. I bought this album on eBay not long ago, just for this show. It was a guy called record time now. And there were 2 more available, sealed copies. So, you know, if you need a copy of Rats to Riches,
Are you selling that one?
I would, you can find them. You can find all these albums on eBay. It depends on how much you want to pay for them. But that one was sealed, so I was pretty happy about that. But anyway, that's it. That been my show, Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway, special Long Island edition. I'm Jamie. I'm from Long Island. Please make some comments. Subscribe to my channel. Share my channel. Share my channel, please, with your friends and family. Share it with my friends and family. Really? I mean, come on. Just, help me out here, please.
Just share.
But, sharing is good. We
Like
all
to
must
hear
share.
from our friends on
We all
Long
have to
Island.
share. You have any ideas what I should do as a show? I got a lot of things I want to do. It's just so much stuff and so little time. But let me call. Yeah, call me, text me, send me a message on YouTube. Tell me, hey Jamie, do you got any such and such? And I'm like, do I have such and such? I mean,
I'm the king of
And
such
we'll
and
do-
such.
we'll play some such and such. But until then, it's been great sharing the Good Rats with you. You know, a Long Island tradition that carries on to this day. You know, it was been great. Thank you. Later, man. Move it.